Welcome to Escape to the Country. This rather pretty body of water behind me, let's face it, could be anywhere in the UK, but this one formed a key component in an 18th century valleyscape that is now being painstakingly rediscovered. It is just part of a much wider country estate that has at its heart a Gothic mansion that's been equally lost in time. So where are we? Well, join me in just a moment and I'll tell you. Today I'm with a pair of sisters used to living it up in London. But one of them is packing it in for a life in the countryside and taking a touch of the city buzz with her.
It lends itself quite nicely to a really funky playroom or party room.
I wonder when we get to that. Yeah, I get the feeling you two are quite used to a good party.
Yeah.
And it looks like there might be cause for celebration as our search throws up a few surprises. And you may open your eyes now.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, wow.
Well, today we are in Gloucestershire, and these are the beautiful landscape surroundings of Woodchester Park. And that, perhaps not surprisingly, is Woodchester Mansion. Now, from the outside, it looks pretty sumptuous, but in truth, in 1873, the money ran out, the builders left, and it remains a time capsule, a unique study in late 19th century architectural practice. Now, later on in the show, I'll be back here taking a closer look at the work that's being done to restore all that Woodchester has to offer. It is a peculiar part of Gloucestershire's tantalising countryside. Gloucestershire is situated in the southwest of England, where the River Severn flows into the Bristol Channel. The county encompasses a major part of the Cotswolds area of outstanding natural beauty, the Severn Vale and the Royal Forest of Dean. Within the forest, the magical dense woodland of Puzzle Wood is a mass of twisted tree roots and dramatic moss-covered rock formations. So striking is its imagery, it was said to have been one of J.R.R. Tolkien's inspirations for Middle-earth in Lord of the Rings, and is also recognisable from its appearance in the recent Star Wars movie, The Force Awakens. Gloucestershire also boasts equally stunning scenery in the form of its historic architecture. The charming Cotswolds villages in the east of the county are made up of ancient honey-coloured limestone cottages like those in the village of Byberry. Described by William Morris as the most beautiful village in England, its famous stone weavers' cottages at Arlington Row are some of the most photographed in the UK. And their iconic image even features on the inner page of the British passport. But there's certainly no need to go abroad when you've got all this in Gloucestershire. From varied landscapes and heritage to picture-perfect towns and villages, there really is something for everyone. Well, who wouldn't be seduced by this glorious Gloucestershire countryside? But of course, moving here does come with something of a premium attached. At £330,000, the average price of a detached property here is some 30 grand above the national figure. Now, you may not have to be a millionaire to move here, but it is perhaps worth remembering the story of local man James Wood. He owned the Old Bank in Gloucester. He was reputedly Britain's very first millionaire, but was also said to be so tight with his money, he was the inspiration for Charles Dickens' Ebenezer Scrooge. But what about today's buyer? Well, let's hope that she is far more prepared to part with her money. Today we're house hunting with South Londoner Mickey, who lives in a 4-bedroom terrace house with son Tom and their 2 dogs, Didier and Mouse. Having family living nearby, Mickey sees her younger sister Charlie on a daily basis.
I live in Wandsworth at the moment and I absolutely love this area. It's a very close-knit community. Everything is on my doorstep. Tom's school is 5 minutes away from the house, as is the common, as are cafes.
Despite living in the affluent borough for 9 years, Mickey's job as a property design consultant has meant they never stay put in one property for long.
I have moved 7 times in the last 6 years and done up every single property that I've lived in.
Mickey has the most incredible vision. So when she walks into a property, she can see what she can do with it, which a lot of other people don't.
The London lifestyle suits Mickey down to the ground. But with 7-year-old Tom about to change schools, she feels the fast-paced city isn't the best place for him to grow up in.
This move is driven solely by Tom and his changing schooling needs. I would like him to grow up in the countryside without the pressures of London and being in a city with the freedom to run around like we did when we were younger.
Mickey's done her research. Although she's unfamiliar with the countryside, she has friends in Gloucestershire and has found a school there for Tom. The idea of moving seems a no-brainer.
Gloucestershire is the only place Mickey can go. It has the most amazing links back to London, and I think a great friend network there.
Whilst I am going to embrace it, I am slightly dreading it and clinging on for the last few months of my London life. But I will take it with both hands, but I am quite scared.
And with a change of scenery may also come a change of career.
I have always loved the idea of owning a boutique, and whilst there's two a penny in London, there aren't that many in Gloucestershire, so I would really like to look at opportunities to see whether maybe I could realise my dream of owning a little shop.
Although she's a pro when it comes to buying and selling, there's more pressure on getting this next property purchase right than ever before. So she's bringing sister Charlie along for support.
Charlie has got a very wise head on her shoulders. We work together quite well because I have the artistic flair and my ideas sometimes run away with me, and Charlie is probably more likely to be the
Handbrake?
The school Mickey has found for Tom is in Minchinhampton, so we're looking in the villages and towns within a reasonable distance for the school run. Now, although this is one lady who's used to talking property particulars, I need to find out what's on the wish list for this next move.
Well, guys, look at this. What a place to start. So, formally, Charlie, Mickey, welcome to Gloucestershire. This is a really interesting story, I think, because you're not a typical escapee, are you?
No, I don't think I am.
What's the real motivation behind this move for you?
Well, the real motivation is Tom and his schooling. So now I'm just looking for the perfect property.
Now, Charlie, you know your sister better than anybody. What's your role going to be this week?
So I think I'm here to be the voice of reason. Mickey has moved a lot, and therefore she's not scared to take on a project, and it's easy for her. So I think I'll be more look at the bigger picture.
With this move, are you looking for an investment property or a home?
I'm looking for a home that will ultimately be an investment as well, but I'm looking first and foremost for a home.
Let's talk about the specifics. What do we need to have on our wish list?
Probably the main key component is the location. So I'm very keen for a village location. I do not want it to be too rural. I would quite like a pub within walking distance. And then in terms of the property, 4 bedrooms and a garden that isn't too big.
Now, just remind us of your budget.
I've got a budget of maximum 900,000. That's for all the work that I would like to do on the property as well, so that's my complete budget.
Is it possible, Charlie, that we could find the perfect home that didn't need anything doing for your sister?
I think that's incredibly unlikely.
That's my worry. Why? Why is it so unlikely?
Because if it's not Mickey's way, she doesn't like it.
You've got a fantastic budget. We've got some great properties here to show you. Shall we?
Yeah, brilliant.
Come on, let's go. Let's see what we can find you. It's nearly £1 million, you know. It's not bad, is it?
With a healthy budget of £900,000, Mickey's looking for a property with a minimum of 4 bedrooms, a substantial yet manageable garden for Tom and the dogs, and she's not shy of doing a little bit of work if required. Used to life in the city, Mickey doesn't want anything too remote, and she'd like to be able to walk to a pub. The most important factor is the need to be close to her son's new school. We've got some cracking properties to show Mickey and Charlie, all with an abundance of character and an interesting mix of old and new. I'll be asking them to guess the price of each before I tell them, and for our final offering, I have a mystery house to rival all mystery houses, with a very special and unique additional extra. We're beginning our search in a tiny hamlet called the Vatch, which is in the southern Cotswolds. Situated on the edge of the Slad Valley, it's less than a mile from the picturesque village of Slad, famous as the home and final resting place of author Laurie Lee. Today, the village is focused around the parish church and the Woolpack pub, which continues to receive visitors keen to see the place where author Lee whiled away the hours writing his books. As we wander back down the hill, the property I want Mickey to see stands in a prominent position on a rather impressive plot.
Wow.
That's property number 1.
Is it? Wow. It's beautiful.
Originally a coach house. Now, the outside fabric, as you can see, is all in pretty good order. It's the internals that are going to require a bit of Mickey magic,
Yeah.
I suspect. It's a good barometer, I think, this one to
Yeah,
start with.
definitely.
As to how much of a project you're up for.
Well, it's big. It definitely looks really big from the outside.
I mean, it comes with 3 acres of land.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay.
OK. Sugar.
Yeah,
Right.
sugar. Come on, let's sweeten that pill. Let's have a look.
Made of Cotswold stone, this 3-storey house retains a number of charming features from its former life as a coach house. And surprisingly, it isn't listed. Inside, it's certainly as large as it looks from the outside. The ground floor is currently divided to create a self-contained 1-bedroom annex, separate from the rest of the property, with its own entrance, a separate kitchen dining area and a bathroom. But we're starting in the main house, which I think could offer Mickey the development potential she's after, subject to the necessary permissions.
Right, Mickey. Come on in. What do you think?
I think these walls need to come down. I think it's a little bit disappointing from the outside. You expect to sort of walk into something a little bit more
Opulence.
opulent, yes, and welcoming. Instead, you
Yeah.
walk into a sort of wasted room.
This wall, I suspect, should absolutely go.
Yeah.
It's creating a hallway here, which is completely unnecessary, really.
Yes.
What do you think, Charlie?
I'm intrigued because this is what Mickey likes. She likes going in somewhere and seeing the bigger picture.
Yeah.
So I'm just intrigued to see the rest of it.
Well, that's a picture we need to kind of create, don't we? Come through here. Here we are.
Gosh. Right now, I'm not sure I'm really feeling it. From the outside, it had so much potential. It was beautiful. And so far, it's lots of little rooms that aren't flowing and really working for me.
Despite her vision, Mickey is clearly struggling to get her head around the space on offer here. Hopefully she might change her mind when she sees upstairs. On the first floor are 2 of the 5 possible bedrooms, both doubles, as well as a large family bathroom and a huge dual-aspect living area.
Now, up here on the first floor is where you get your first real kind of reception room.
Yeah, this is great.
It's amazing.
Ah, you see? Suddenly, it reveals its magic. Yeah.
It's beautiful, and I can totally see the potential.
Yeah, I think that this is... You're now getting on the par with how beautiful it looks from the outside, and it
Yes.
gives you the potential to be able to see, or people like me who don't have a vision, how it could look.
Now, if you like this space and all that it offers you, you're going to love what's on the top floor. Come and look at this.
What's really exciting about this property is the flexibility it offers. The top floor has over 270 square feet of space, described on the particulars as 2 bedrooms.
So the current master is there, this little dressing corridor, but this, to me, is
Wow.
the main event, the real
This
selling
is
point
amazing.
of this building.
Wow, this is great. I love it. Amazing beams.
Would you go for a family room up here? Would you keep this as is, or go for
think-
more bedroom space? Master suite up here.
Well, it could be a master suite, but I think also it lends itself quite nicely to a really funky playroom or
Yeah.
party room.
I wonder when we get to that. Yeah, I get the feeling you two are quite used to a good party.
No, it's good. This is definitely a real wow point of the house.
OK, well, let's go and have a look at the
So,
garden space
yeah.
and see what that offers you. And we might talk about the price.
Yes.
There is certainly some work to be done with this place, but for someone with Mickey's development experience, it offers endless possibilities, and I think it could make a fantastic home. Outside, it's surrounded by a well-maintained cottage garden, as well as 3 acres of sloping paddocks.
In terms of the sort of garden setup, I mean, you've got an immediate garden here, but let's not forget you've also got 3 acres that come with this.
Yeah.
So, how much do you think it's on the market for then?
I think it will probably be on the market for in excess of 800,000.
Yeah, Charlie?
775.
Oh! Well, this is on at £830,000.
I mean, I think whilst it is a beautiful, beautiful property, I think it probably is just one step too far,
Interesting.
price-wise.
Well, go and have a quick run around, make sense of it, and I will come and find you a little bit later on.
Okay.
Off you go.
Thank you.
This fabulous converted coach house offers Mickey a project she could really sink her teeth into. There's plenty of room for visiting guests to stay, lots of entertaining space, and that separate annex. What's more, there's a large garden for Tom and the dogs, and it's within walking distance to the pub in Slad, and it's just a 15-minute drive to Tom's school.
I would absolutely love to take on something like this.
Tom would absolutely love the playroom upstairs. I mean, he could have the whole run of the top floor.
And I think probably that's where it would end. He's pretty lazy, so there's sloping garden. He would find that pretty tedious.
Yeah.
If there's only two of us with two little dogs, we would really rattle around in a big property like this. But a mini version, that would be perfect.
Nice to see this property nestled in this little valley. Maybe this was a view that Laurie Lee favoured, who knows? All done, girls?
Yes, thank you.
Come on then, pub's just up the road. Lunchtime.
At the turn of the 20th century, Gloucestershire became an important centre for the arts and crafts movement, led by William Morris. Faced with the effects of industrialisation and the introduction of mass production, many British designers championed the movement that was in favour of simpler, traditional ways of making. Bespoke shoemaker Caroline Groves comes from a long line of craftsmen. Her great-grandfather was a cabinet maker and right-hand man to designer C.R. Ashby, a key figure in the arts and crafts movement, who led a team of 150 craftsmen to Chipping Campden in 1902. With Mickey's ambition to one day open her own fashion boutique, we sent her and Charlie to meet up with Caroline at her workshop.
Hi, Mickey. Nice to meet you. Hi,
nice to
Charlie.
meet you. Hi. Handicraft and design obviously runs in your family. Was it a natural progression for you to go into the industry?
Yeah, that was my childhood. I thought everybody made things. I didn't realise it was a natural progression until I was at home with my first child in my early 20s. Found that I reverted to wanting to make things with my hands. The rest is history, almost 30 years of working with leather.
Caroline trained and worked with a local shoemaker for 15 years before setting up her own business. As well as producing bespoke artisan shoes, she also makes leather accessories like bags, purses and belts.
You have some beautiful pieces. And what's this in your hand?
This is called a last. This is where we start. It's a shape which includes the client's measurements, and it includes style details such as heel height and toe shape.
On average, how long does a pair of bespoke shoes take to make?
If I'm doing fairly standard work, I may make as many as 2 pairs of shoes in a week. Something like this that's highly decorative. If I was producing a pair of those in 2 weeks, I'd be a happy person.
Would you mind us having a look in your workshop?
No, please come along.
All Caroline's items are entirely handmade, using just basic tools and traditional methods, hence a price tag upwards of £2,750. Today, the sisters are going to be having a go at a process called skiving, used to reduce and refine the edges of leather before it's folded.
Generally, a first skive is quite a steep cut, taking the edge of the leather, always cleaning away, and then a shallower cut so that you get a nice paired edge. So prior to folding that edge, I'm just going to notch it.
How has this process changed over time? Are you still doing this in the same way as craftsmen used to?
There's nothing I'm doing here that a shoemaker 150 years ago wouldn't recognise.
After adding a rubber solution to the edges to make them tacky, Caroline gently manipulates the leather to form the shape.
Again, with a hammer, encourage that over. And there's an edge that could be, you know, similar, you know, certainly got similar curves that you would have on the top line of a shoe.
Now, traditional shoemaking has been largely superseded by industrial mass production due to the sheer volume that can be produced, not forgetting the speed. But when it comes to quality and attention to detail, I think the craftsmen of the arts and crafts movement were right. You can't beat time-honoured handcrafting skills.
Well done, gosh. I could train you.
Well, if you're ever looking for an assistant, I'll be moving up to the Cotswolds in the next few months, so please do give me a call.
Yeah, for sure, Mickey. I think you'd be excellent.
But if the potential job doesn't work out, Mickey could always stock some of Caroline's bespoke pieces in her Plan boutique instead. It's the second day of our search with Londoner Mickey, who, with the help of sister Charlie, is looking for a country pad for her and her son Tom on a generous budget of £900,000. Having lived in 7 properties in the last 6 years, she's decided it's time to put down roots in the Gloucestershire countryside. Still to come, our mystery house makes an impact.
It's not at all what I expected the mystery house to be.
No, it's a million zillion times better.
And I find out why this 19th century Gothic mansion remains unfinished to this day.
Just going into the dining room now.
Wow, that's amazing, isn't it? As we begin day 2, I do have one major concern, and it's not about the budget, as is often the case. My worry is that Mickey's obsession with wanting to redesign her new home is rather overshadowing the real challenge that she faces, and that is leaving all that's familiar behind in London and trying to set up a new life here in the countryside. I'm just not fully convinced she's prepared for what that is going to involve. So what can we do about it? Well, today we have, of course, 2 more properties to come. A stunning mystery house which, amazingly, has managed to combine almost every period in British architectural history with a nice little twist to boot. But first, a property which, at first glance, may look more at home in the Tuscan countryside, but in truth, of course, it's not in Italy. It's on a hillside in Gloucestershire, just over there.
We're heading for the village of Horsley, again situated in the heart of the Cotswolds area of outstanding natural beauty. The village itself is small, but the nearby town of Nailsworth is just over a mile away. Nestled in a wooded valley and surrounded by unspoilt countryside, it's popular with visiting hikers and mountain bikers who come to explore the variety of footpaths and cycle trails. In recent years, Nailsworth has also gained a reputation for award-winning restaurants and eateries. Our property is in an elevated position above the Horsley Valley, down a quiet country lane.
Right, here we are then.
Wow.
What do you make of that?
Well, it looks good. Definitely a bit of a sun trap here.
The whole thing has been geared up to capture not just the sun, but also the views beyond.
At this place, we're not seeing much of the house because I'm guessing it all faces towards the views.
Absolutely.
But from a view perspective, spectacular.
Good, come on, let's see what you think.
With its Cotswold stone exterior, from the outside, this single-storey house appears typical of the local architecture. But if Mickey and Charlie are envisaging a traditional interior, they'd be wrong. Built in 2000, the current owners designed it from a mix of foreign influences after living abroad.
Now, I don't think this is what you might have been expecting.
No, it definitely isn't. Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, it's really cool.
isn't it?
It's quite sort of nautical.
I mean, I think you're absolutely right to pick up on the boat idea. I mean, there are lots of model ships everywhere, which is kind of helpful, but also it leans heavily on the owner's love of the Mediterranean.
Yeah, it's like on the plasterwork is a little bit like you find in sort of Spanish villas.
Oh, yeah. And it all opens up and flows through here, creating this lovely sort of forum, if you like, to come back to the Italian idea of celebrating the view.
Wow, it's amazing.
Charlie looks a bit lost for words.
No, I mean, I love the fact that it all revolves around the fantastic view.
The space is good. You know, I like the way the space works. I mean, I would probably need a slightly bigger kitchen, but I could definitely work with it. It's good. Thumbs up so far.
Thumbs up so far. Now, it's got 4 bedrooms. The current master is down some steps over there, but I'm going to take you in here, because I think this is the perfect master suite, and you'll see why.
3 of the property's 4 bedrooms lie off the central living areas. They're all doubles, and each has its own ensuite.
Right, come in. Ah, you see?
Oh, my goodness.
Little sort of sitting area, and then through here is revealed the main bedroom area.
Oh, wow.
I mean, is this the sort of thing that you think you could put your stamp on?
No, I think I could definitely put my stamp on something like this. I mean, it's obviously not as much work as I thought I would want to take on, but I could definitely make it my own.
If you are to take on something, you know, you haven't got a lot of time to get the sale completed, do any work you want to do, and have it all up and running, ready for the start of the school term. So I'm thinking this is just a way of getting this move underway with a minimum of aggravation.
Yeah, I think it's important that when Mickey brings Tom down here, there's a home for them to move into and that he's happy and feels secure before he goes to a new school.
Yeah.
But she has to do something. Yeah, So, and this could be the perfect option.
You can come and do mine if you like. You're short of things to redesign.
The Mediterranean influences are all over this property, in the bathrooms and even the stairs to the 4th bedroom in the loft, which is currently used as a study. Outside, there's a useful workshop space and a garage. The landscape gardens to the rear have been designed for ease of maintenance, with a decked sun terrace accessed through French doors from the living areas.
Whoa, look at this! Bright! Bright sunshine. Bouncing off the floor. There we are. What you've got is this terrace garden here, and it runs down to that little box hedge at the bottom, with a vegetable patch as well thrown in for good measure. But very social space, I think.
Yeah.
So, Charlie, how much do you think it's on the market for?
I think it's an incredibly unique property. I think I'm going to go with £870,000.
And I think probably 850,000.
Not bad, actually. You are spot on. Yeah, £850,000 for a slice of Mediterranean life in the heart of the English countryside. Right then, off you go. Go and explore it. Take your time with this one. I'll spoil you with it.
Thank you.
Brilliant. While I enjoy the sunshine and the view. Look at that.
This fantastic Mediterranean-style modern home has the 4 bedrooms Mickey needs and is already a great example of open-plan living, meaning she wouldn't need to go knocking down any walls. It's got a low-maintenance garden, it's half a mile from the local pub in Horsley, and best of all, it would be just a 10-minute journey for the school run.
I think for me, this particular house, the garden is just not going to work for Tom and for the dogs. It's just on too much of a slope.
Mickey needs to decide between her dream of doing a big project and finding a home and security for Tom. I don't think in the short time frame she has between now and the time Tom needs to go to school, she can satisfy both dreams.
Happy here?
Yes?
Excellent. Let's go and tempt you with our final offering.
The Cotswolds wool trade was, to a great extent, responsible for the prosperity of the region. But its character is most definitely a result of the abundance of stone used to build hundreds of its villages. I'm visiting Woodchester Mansion, a 19th century Gothic masterpiece that was abandoned mid-construction in 1873. Over the years, it's been saved from dereliction, but it will never be completed. Ray Canham from the Woodchester Mansion Trust is showing me around.
Just going into the dining room now.
Wow, that's amazing, isn't it?
And this is what the mansion is about.
And that's the original timber centering.
Yes, and I'd like to think they left it there so we could show it to you today.
But what's the story, Ray? How did it come to pass that this building was begun and then left so spectacularly unfinished?
William Lee, the mansion builder, inherited, when he was very young, about £170,000 from his father. And he converted to Catholicism in the 1840s and wanted to move somewhere where he could establish a Catholic community. On the site was a Georgian mansion William Lee took advice from Augustus Pugin, and Pugin said, pull it down and start again, as perhaps an architect might.
Yeah, he's obviously looking for a bit of business, isn't he?
He was looking for a bit of business.
But why go to all the trouble of creating a Gothic mansion? It's not really a cosy family home, is it?
I don't think it was ever going to be a family home, but that's just a personal view. That this could have been to entertain the great and the good of the Catholic Church.
Looking at the sheer scale of this place, it seems as though Lee's ambitions for the building could never have been realised. As his capital diminished, progress became slow. When he died in 1873, over 20 years after work began, the building was never completed. But his misfortune is our fortune. We're now able to not only marvel at this building, but study it in a way that we would never have imagined. Stonemason Johnny Anderson has been at Woodchester for 8 years, using its masonry history for training others.
Hello, Johnny. Nice to meet you.
Pleased to meet you.
Bit of conservation in action.
Well, that's why we're here.
Now, what a training ground for any stonemason. I mean, surely every technique you would ever need to master is identifiable.
Yeah, and you don't need a textbook, you just point to it. I was lucky enough to have a traditional apprenticeship, but today, the young people in a sterile workshop environment, when they come here, they join the dots together and see their workshop work and the site work, and they marry the two together, and it's all explained here.
What are you about to replicate with this block?
So I'm taking this block down, I'm squaring the top off, and this is one of the first things you learn to do as an apprentice. So if I give you a short demonstration, would you like to have a go yourself?
Oh, I'll have a go, yeah, go on.
All right, then. OK. What you want to do is get a rhythm, and the idea is to get a draft going.
A draft?
A draft, and a draft is the name for the straight line that the mason works in across the top of his block.
There are over 30 different types of limestone used in the building, and looking around you can see countless examples of techniques, finishes and tool marks on show.
If you try and keep a straight line going, you're working towards the end of the block.
Kept in its current state, the mansion offers us a fantastic window on 19th century architectural practice and provides a remarkable research tool to teach and inspire new generations of students and tradesmen. Outside, the 500-acre grounds of Woodchester Park have a story of their own to tell. Although now overgrown with trees, area ranger Max Dancer and his team from the National Trust have discovered the remains of a 19th century terraced garden that has fallen into disrepair.
This is what I really want to show you, Jules. Welcome to Woodchester's own Italian gardens. So this was made for the Georgian mansion that would have sat where the current Victorian mansion sits now.
That's incredible. I'm fascinated by this archaeology that you've uncovered here.
This is fantastic, isn't it? This is the remains of an old water fountain. Imagine water trickling down here. So beautiful, romantic, therapeutic. I would love for this area to be grassed. I would love for the cascade above us to be on show and for the public to be able to see it and really sort of put themselves back into 18th century Britain.
The ambition they're bringing to this project is admirable. I just hope that, unlike the builders of the main house, Max and his team are able to finish what they've started, opening up some of this fascinating history for the public. We're on the road heading to a hamlet called the Mythe, on the northern edge of the Cotswolds, close to the Worcestershire border. The nearby medieval market town of Tewkesbury lies at the confluence of the rivers Severn and Avon. Steeped in history and medieval character, visitors can take a stroll through a town rich in black and white timber-frame buildings, or visit the 900-year-old Tewkesbury Abbey with its striking Norman tower. Crossing over the River Avon, our mystery house is just a mile from the town and is set back from the road.
Keep walking. Oh, feel that lovely sunshine. And stop there, and you may open your eyes now.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, wow.
Wow, you definitely saved the best to last.
Yeah, didn't we, Jess?
Wow, it's amazing.
You could be lady of the manor. How about that?
I can't quite believe it.
Well, there is more truth in that than you might think, because this one actually does come with a title. If you own this, you become Lord of Mythe and Mythe Hook, lord of the manor of Mythe and Mythe Hook.
Right. Do I need a sex change?
No, but you can give it to Tom
Oh, I see.
as a moving present. How about that? None of his mates are lords at 7 years old, I'm sure. Yeah. OK, right then, let's do it country style. Let's use the back door, shall we?
Not surprisingly, this rare property is Grade 2 star listed. Less than 6% of all listed buildings have this grading. The first owner on record was William the Conqueror's wife, Matilda, the land given to her as a gift from her husband. It was later sold to King John, who used it as a hunting lodge in the 13th century. Over the years, it's been added to and embellished and was sympathetically restored and extended in the 1980s to create a beautiful family home.
So, my lady.
Oh, my goodness.
It's not at all what I expected the mystery house to be.
No, it's a million zillion times better.
Come on, have a look through here. I mean, this is obviously the diner end of the kitchen diner. And bearing in mind, you know, this is the new extension. Once again, just beautifully done and thought through with these oak beams and doors out to the garden at the dog's
Yes.
out, you know. Come through here, this is the living room.
The magical mix of medieval and 16th century architecture in this house really works with the modern finishes. The main reception room is south-facing, making it wonderfully light.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's really good.
So I don't think you'd have to do too much to
No,
this to
you're
make
right.
it yours.
No.
Who'd have thought it possible that we might have found something that you didn't need to rethink?
Oh, she'll find something.
Yeah, well, I'm sure. But come on, let's go upstairs.
I think Mickey is genuinely taken with this house, as I hope she would be. The 5 bedrooms are split across the 2 top floors. There are 3 bedrooms on the first floor, one with an ensuite shower room and a luxurious family bathroom. But as we head up the Norman Tower, there are a further 2 bedrooms, the largest used as a living room, the perfect playroom for Tom, and then there's the master bedroom.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's like we stepped back in time.
Well, this is you, the maiden at the top of the tower. This is one of the oldest parts of the building, the Norman Tower, of course, looking
I
out,
see,
you
yeah.
know, into the garden.
I love that window.
I do too.
Would you come and stay, Charlie?
I think I'll probably never move out. I'm thinking about relocating myself.
It's really fun. And, you know, we are a little bit further away from the school in Minchinhampton that you're thinking of sending Tom to, about 45 minutes. But the building you get as a result, Charlie, you know, come on, help me.
Yeah,
It's
no,
gorgeous.
I totally agree. I mean, the building's beautiful.
What do we think it's worth, then? You can think about it on our way to the bottom. Come on.
Outside, the property is surrounded by beautiful, level lawn gardens to the front and side, with a number of seating areas. There's also a purpose-built art studio, which I imagine Mickey would make use of as a garden room or entertaining space in the summer.
So make us an offer, then, on our final offering, our gorgeous, wonderful mystery house.
Well, I never in a million years thought I would be able to afford anything like this. I'm going to be optimistic in my price and put
Yeah.
it right on the top, on my top budget, which was £900,000.
£900,000, yeah, Charlie?
I'm going to go with £950,000.
£950,000. I mean, any of those figures, frankly, I think would be completely justified on this one. But here's the trick, and this is why I think the 45-minute commute is worth making, because this could be yours for £850,000.
Oh, my
Wow.
And,
Lady Mickey.
Right then, we are going to give you as much time as I can, though, here, and I will come and find you a little bit later on. Go on, off you go. Go on, Charlie. Take your time.
This beautifully presented house offers Mickey a real slice of local history and a title for an amazing £50,000 below budget. The generously proportioned rooms offer a great living space with 5 bedrooms and the perfect flat garden for Tom and the dogs. It's only minutes to Tewkesbury, but the compromise is the 45-minute journey to Tom's school in Minchinhampton.
I nice art studio.
Yeah, amazing. Such a versatile space. You could actually do anything with it.
But how cool is that house?
I mean, amazing, isn't it? Look at it.
I mean, I absolutely love the house. The one reservation that I have is I've kind of gone down the route of putting Tom into a school. So I think we've just got to try and work out whether, you know, in reality, it's doable.
Well, my ladies, I'm afraid your carriage awaits. We've got to go. You've got a lot to think about. Come on. Well, our journey this week has certainly thrown up plenty of challenges for Charlie and, importantly, for Mickey, but also, I think, one or two conclusions that they weren't really expecting. We've given them lots to think about, but have we managed to find them a house for the future? Well, let's go and ask them. Well, guys, this is the end of the line, I'm afraid. The process is nearly over. We've given you, I think, some really interesting properties this week to consider. But I suspect, Charlie, it's going to come as no surprise to anybody watching this that there is one clear favourite. Am I right?
You're right, Jules. The mystery house was incredible.
It's put a real cat amongst the pigeons because now everything is up in the air. I've got to look a little bit more into the area, you know, even potentially look at different schools because I'm not sure 45 minutes is workable for me, but I absolutely love that house. I never imagined that we'd see anything like that. And that's a house that I feel that, you know, we can really grow in and enjoy.
So what happens next?
Well, I think I've got to do some driving around. I've got to consult the map and, yeah, I've got to move forward, I think.
It's been a lot of fun, guys. We've made light, in some respects, of this enormous decision that you are having to make. But I do think you're coming to the right area. It's been a great pleasure. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, we finished up this week in the lovely surroundings at Elmore Court. It's said that the grounds and the gardens here so inspired a young Hubert Parry that he composed the tune to the hymn Jerusalem. Now, of course, the words we now all know and love, written by the poet William Blake. And did those feet in ancient times walk upon England's pastures green? Well, in truth, of course, we will probably never know the answer to that one. But I do hope that in due course, Mickey's will. Or should it be Lady Mickey? Watch this space. I'll see you next time.
After researching her options, Mickey eventually decided our mystery house was just too far from the school. But I am pleased to report she's just bought another property close to the school, which of course needs work. I have no doubt once she's turned it into her dream home, she and Tom will be very happy in Gloucestershire. If you'd like to escape to the country in Wales, Scotland, Northern Ireland or England and would like our help, why not apply online at bbc.co.uk/Be On A Show.